Art is an expression of our souls, and it's the human spirit that I am trying to reflect in this painting. At a time of meditation, after one prays and turns towards our Maker, that something comes through you. You realize that you are not the only creature on earth, that there is more to you and more to life than just ourselves. The second painting even reflects more of this, in which you feel the ascendancy here of the figure that leaves this world. And here you see a child, a young person on what could be water or it could be cloud. And this ascendancy takes us into the next realm, out of this workshop. This life is just a workshop, and we're here to grow our spiritual qualities, our qualities of justice, equality, love for all, and that we are really in character and in spirit all the same. I would like to come here to show you this small but very lovely painting. And here you see a painting. I love painting butterflies, and I love looking at butterflies in my garden. These butterflies, I pretend, carry our souls to the next world. I know that our Creator has something more, but with a friend of mine passed away recently, and for the first time ever, the next morning, our garden was just filled with hundreds of white butterflies, maybe thousands of white butterflies. So as I came out of the house into the garden, there were these butterflies carrying Eric's soul to the next world. This painting speaks very much of the idea that our bodies are a cage, and in this cage, when you have a bird in a cage, you open the door, the bird flies out. The bird will never come back. As much as you whistle, the bird won't come back to the cage. It's free. So in this, you feel the freedom of leaving the cage. The top is a figure of the bird leaving the cage, and all that is left is the cage itself. So this is the cage in which other mortals and other children, symbolized as little birds, remain until it's their turn. And here we are, looking at nature. I love nature. We're all part of nature. We're part of the earth, the plants, the animals, and we are a higher form of humans, but we are totally dependent on our environment. So we need to protect it. This one shows the aged bark of a tree, and I just love the colors. I love the feeling of it being a very spiritual part of our existence and a beauty that we are fortunate to enjoy. I have here a little painting which shows using nature and collaging, stitching this piece of branch actually onto the background which is painted. And I like the form of the very old piece of wood. It has been here for some time, so some years, so I don't think it can be damaged. And I have a painting which shows also the branch of the tree. And I see the branch as a metaphor. I think the trunk and the branches symbolize the males, the men of this world, and the leaves symbolize women. So in this very strong diagonal painting, you can see many, many things, and as our perception is different for everyone, everybody sees something different in a painting. And in this painting of the branch, I wish you to enjoy whatever it is that you can seek and find in this extremely strong, perhaps a little bit scary branch, but it is a branch from a tree that often you can look at trees and see faces and animals and insects all crawling on the branch of your tree. Here we have a painting which we've evolved from the tree to now showing the nobility of the human spirit. This painting is called The Two of Us, and I think in life it's always very good to have a companion, someone who is your best friend. So here are two people, and they're veiled in lots and lots of colours. The two of us can be any two people who have love and respect for each other. On that note, I'd like to show you the Maasai lady. And the Maasai lady, with her tremendous nobility of hard work. Here she is carrying a milk gourd to take to her children, and she's so tall and straight, and she's so conscientious about her family, and there are images within this painting that one can see perhaps these are some of her thoughts. So God says to us, "Noble have I created thee." And I think the Maasai people and the women of Kenya have really got that amazing quality of service. This is a very new painting. Perhaps it's even too new and maybe still unfinished, but it's again a circle, and I wanted this circle, which perhaps it looks like an onion, or any plant that has a little bulb in the ground. So it takes its nutrients from the earth, stores it in this bulb, and then flourishes and creates the food we eat. So we live so close to nature that every day, certainly in this house, we eat a salad that comes from the garden. This painting, which I love very much, shows here we are in the time of COVID. This is the biggest catastrophe that I have seen in the world in my 81 years. And it created for me the image of we are all here confined to our homes, each one of these. These bars show me that the only prison is the prison of self. And here we all are told, stay at home. So our home is within these spaces, and this is the time of lockdown and trying to survive the worst test from something that we can't even see. A painting again showing the nobility of the human spirit. And for me, this mabati, this very simple material that is very, very old, which I found, reflects to me the head of the hard-working African woman in the shade of a tree and surrounded by the colors of honey. It's just a painting that evolved over time, and you can put this painting out in the sun or the rain. We have used a resin to make it very permanent. This is one of my studio spaces, and probably more interesting than the paintings themselves are the many colors that I use. All my materials are imported from the UK, and these are handmade colors made by Michael Harding, which cost 20,000 shillings a tube, but the reason I use them is that they will endure for thousands of years. I wish my art will be enjoyed for very many years after I leave this world. Under again, my love for the sea. This is very recent, and the one at the other end of the studio goes back 20 years at a time when the Indian Ocean was filled with wonderful, colourful fish. When my children, who are now in their 50s, were little, they could go snorkeling off the beach in Diani and see thousands of fish of all different colours. For exciting colour is this painting of a sunset, which the colours are so strong and exciting. I love colour. I think first and foremost as an artist, I'm a colourist. This painting reflects also a lot of colour, and colour gives one so much joy. Everybody loves colour. I have painted in the streets of Pumwani, and I find that everybody gathers round to look at the colours and enjoy them. I've worked in Carriacou Market. I had a kiosk in Carriacou Market for 6 months, and everybody gathered round looking at my kiosk full of many colours. This is a very good painting, the camels, which shows my journey through this world. I once saw an Australian seer who said, "You have traversed this continent of Africa for thousands of years," and I felt, you're right. And then this painting came where it shows the yellow light flashing into the painting and the camels, and it's more complicated than I'm saying right now, but it shows my journey at this time on camel and on foot through Africa, the Africa which I love so much.
Hi, are you going down? Yes, please.
My love for nature. Second to painting is my love for gardening. You see the paintings living in the trees. I think they fit really well. I tell everybody, if you just come to this painting, I always tell people I'm just an ant, because the ants work very, very hard, and the ant serves the colony. It brings the food, they're warriors, they take after they look after the queen, and these are the tunnels within a termite nest. This is my workshop. We have some paintings down here. So my love for the ocean. When I was 10 years old, I remember walking on the beach in South Africa and feeling that the horizon line between heaven and earth, sea and sky, was where God lived. And I came from a family of mother and father who had different religions, and I am a Baha'i, and which is about the unity of mankind, the unity of all of us. So this unity is very much in the waves of one sea. The waves of one sea and the leaves of one branch.